A runner-up from a dating show just demolished Tony Award winners and congresswomen in a competition nobody thought she could win. We're talking about Olandria from Love Island USA Season 7. And what happened 4 months after she left that Fiji villa is gonna make your jaw hit the floor. While everyone was caught up in the Nicolandria drama with Nic, the whole situation with Cierra, Taylor playing cowboy, and Ace trying to slide in, something way bigger was happening behind the scenes. The Love Island Huda moments everyone was obsessing over, that was just the beginning. This quiet girl from Alabama just rewrote every single rule about reality TV fam, and the way she did it is gonna blow your mind. How does someone go from second place on Love Island to winning one of the most prestigious awards in Black culture? The answer involves a fan base that organized like a political campaign, controversy that almost derailed everything, and a moment that changed the entertainment industry forever. Quick thing, hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to hear is the wildest glow-up story in reality TV history. And if you're not subscribed, the algorithm gods will make sure you miss part 2 when things get even crazier. Plus, I spent 3 days researching this, so throw me a bone here.
Let's rewind to May 2024. The world had no idea who Olandria Carthen was. She wasn't chasing fame or trying to become an influencer. She had a whole life that made sense. A degree in supply chain management from Tuskegee University. A real job as a sales associate at Otis Elevator Company down in Houston, Texas. Goals that existed long before anyone handed her a microphone and told her to be entertaining. This wasn't some wannabe influencer who auditioned 50 times hoping to get on TV. She applied once, got accepted, and figured, why not see what happens? Born in Decatur, Alabama, Olandria's story doesn't start with privilege or connections. Her mother had her in 10th grade. Single-parent household, eldest of 6 siblings. That kind of responsibility shapes you in ways that cameras can't manufacture. While other teenagers were worried about who liked who and what to wear to prom, she was helping raise an entire household. That weight builds character that's impossible to fake. So when she stepped into that Love Island villa, she wasn't desperate for validation from strangers or thirsty for Instagram followers. She'd already survived real pressure. A dating show was honestly light work compared to the life she'd already lived.
The villa had absolutely no idea what was about to hit them. From day one, there was this magnetic pull between Nic Vansteenberghe and Olandria that you couldn't ignore, even if you tried. You could see it in how they moved around each other during group conversations, how they'd find excuses to talk, how the whole energy in a room shifted when they were in the same space. Fans caught it immediately, way before either of them acknowledged anything publicly. That's when the Nicolandria name was born in Twitter threads and TikTok comments. And once that started spreading, there was no putting that genie back in the bottle. But here's where the villa dynamics got complicated and messy. Nic was coupled up with Cierra Ortega for a significant chunk of the season. That coupling seemed stable, looked like it might actually last, until everything fell apart in a way nobody wanted. Old social media posts from Cierra's past resurfaced, the kind of content that immediately becomes a problem in today's climate, and she had to leave the show. The villa got tense. Conversations got awkward. Nic was suddenly single under circumstances that felt heavy and uncomfortable for everyone involved.
Meanwhile, Olandria had been exploring a connection with Taylor Williams. The cowboy had undeniable charm, no question about that. He knew how to turn it on for the cameras. Some fans were completely invested in them together, making edits and defending the coupling online. Others felt like something was missing, like the energy wasn't quite matching up. Taylor seemed genuinely into it, putting in effort and trying to make it work, but something about the connection felt surface level compared to what everyone was seeing brewing between Nic and Olandria. You could feel it through the screen. Ace Greene was floating around the villa too, making his moves and adding another complicated layer to the whole situation. The Love Island Huda moments that fans live for were piling up episode after episode. Every single night had fans on social media debating who should be with who. Group chats were going absolutely insane trying to predict what would happen next. The fan theories were getting wild. The tension was building to a breaking point, and everyone watching knew something had to give eventually. What separated Nicolandria from literally every other reality TV couple that season was the patience they showed. Even when fans were losing their minds on Twitter, begging them to just get together already. Even when the chemistry was screaming from every single frame, they moved at their own pace. No rushing into things because it looked good on camera. No forcing a connection because producers wanted a specific storyline to play out. They actually took real time to figure out if what they felt was genuine or just villa intensity. And when they finally did couple up, it didn't feel like manufactured drama created in a producer meeting. It felt earned, like you'd watch two actual people genuinely find something that mattered to both of them. That authenticity hit completely different than anything else that season. The Nicolandria fandom didn't just grow at a normal rate, it absolutely exploded across every platform. Every interaction between them got analyzed frame by fans with too much time and dedication. Every conversation became content that got clipped and posted and dissected. This wasn't casual viewership anymore where people just watched and moved on. This was fans investing emotionally in something they truly believed was real, and that belief created a bond that went way beyond typical reality TV support.
Day 32 arrived, finale night. 4 couples left standing after weeks of eliminations and recouplings. When the final votes came in from America, Amaya and Brian took the crown on the prize money. Nic and Olandria finished as runners-up, second place. In the entire history of Love Island, across every version in every country, coming in second means you get your brief moment in the spotlight, do a handful of interviews for a week, and then quietly fade into obscurity while the winners dominate the press tour and magazine covers. That's the established pattern. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. But Olandria's story was about to completely flip that script so hard it would leave the entire entertainment industry confused and scrambling to understand what just happened. Within days of leaving that villa and returning to the real world, something shifted in a way nobody predicted. The fan support didn't cool down like it normally does. It somehow intensified and grew stronger. The Nicolandria hashtag kept trending daily on Twitter. People weren't ready to move on to the next season or the next show. They wanted more content, more updates, more connection. Olandria kept showing up on social media exactly as herself, which sounds simple but is actually revolutionary. No thirst traps designed for engagement, no manufactured drama created just to stay relevant, no fake beef with other islanders for headlines, just her living her actual life, posting what felt natural and authentic, letting people in on her own terms. Her sense of humor came through naturally in captions. Her faith showed up unapologetically in her content, which is rare in the influencer space. Proverbs 31:25 became her Instagram bio. She clothed herself in strength and dignity, and she could laugh at the days to come. That verse hit different when you knew her background and her journey. It wasn't performative. It was genuinely who she was, and people responded to that realness in a massive way. The relationship with Nic developed in real time on social media. No PR stunts coordinated by managers, no staged photo ops at trendy LA restaurants, no couple content created specifically for algorithm optimization, just 2 people figuring out what they actually had outside the pressure of cameras and producers, and a villa environment that forces intensity. Fans ate it up because it felt genuine in a space that usually feels manufactured. Every post got thousands of comments within minutes. Every Instagram story got screenshotted and analyzed across fan accounts. The butterfly emoji became their unofficial symbol because butterflies represent transformation and rebirth, and that's exactly what everyone was watching happen in real time to both of them.
Then, brands started paying real attention, not random sketchy companies looking for cheap influencer deals where they send free products for posts. Real, established brands with actual budgets and campaigns, fashion collaborations, partnerships that actually aligned with who she was as a person and what she represented to her audience. By August, just 2 months after the Love Island finale, Olandria signed with Digital Brand Architects for professional management. That's the same management company repping some of the biggest established names in entertainment. That's not a normal trajectory for a Love Island contestant who came in second place. That's the kind of move that signals someone's entire trajectory just changed completely and permanently. September hit, and the numbers went absolutely crazy in ways that don't make mathematical sense. 100,000 followers turned into over 2 million on Instagram alone within weeks. The Bama Barbie nickname that fans had given her transformed from a cute inside joke into an actual brand with real value. Fans were buying whatever product she recommended without hesitation. When she posted about literally anything, it sold out within hours. Companies were watching those metrics and realizing she had real influence that translated to actual sales, not just vanity numbers.
What made it even more impressive was how she moved through all of the sudden attention and opportunities. No ego developing, no attitude emerging, no diva behavior or unreasonable demands. She'd respond to comments from regular fans, repost fan edits to her stories, made the people who supported her feel seen and valued as individuals. That reciprocity built something way stronger than typical stan culture where fans worship from a distance. This felt like a community where everyone had a role. They started calling themselves the Nicolandria Nation. Purple hearts and butterfly emojis flooded every post. They protected her online with an intensity that went beyond normal fandom behavior. When people tried coming for her in comments or shady tweets, the nation shut it down immediately with receipts and coordinated responses. When she had opportunities that required voting, they mobilized like an actual political campaign with strategy and organization. When she needed support for anything, they showed up in numbers that actually moved real metrics. This wasn't just fans casually supporting a celebrity they liked. This was a community that felt genuine ownership over her success because they'd been there from the absolute beginning, when she was just another contestant.
Olandria stayed selective and intentional with brand partnerships. She wanted deals that made sense for her personal values and her audience's expectations. She talked about education openly and frequently, about being a first-generation college graduate and what that meant to her family, about the critical importance of HBCUs and Black education and culture. She spoke about her Christian faith without apologizing for it in an industry that often sidelines or mocks religion. Everything she chose to do felt intentional and thought through, like she understood that authenticity was her biggest asset and competitive advantage, and she absolutely wasn't about to compromise it for quick money that didn't align with who she was. Okay, real talk. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, I'm starting to take it personally. Do it now so the YouTube algorithm thinks I'm worthy of love and recommends this to more people. Plus, you definitely want to be here for what happens next because it gets absolutely bonkers.
October 2024 dropped a bomb that nobody saw coming. Ebony magazine, a legacy publication that's been celebrating Black excellence since 1945, released the nominees for their annual Power 100 People's Choice Award. For anyone who doesn't know the way to this isn't some random internet poll where fans spam votes for fun. This is Ebony. The Power 100 list recognizes individuals who are actively shaping Black culture, driving real conversations and making tangible impact. Past honorees include presidents, civil rights leaders, business moguls who've built empires. This is serious, prestigious business with decades of credibility behind it. The nominees were announced publicly, and the list was absolutely stacked with accomplished women. Audra McDonald, 6-time Tony Award winner with a theater career spanning decades of critically acclaimed performances. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, a rising political voice fighting for actual policy change that affects people's daily lives. Taylor Townsend, professional tennis champion competing at the highest levels against the best in the world. Tracee Ellis Ross, iconic actress from entertainment royalty who's built a multi-industry empire. And then Olandria Carthen, reality TV contestant from Love Island USA Season 7 who'd been in the public eye for less than 6 months total.
Read that list one more time and let it sink in. Accomplished women with established legacies that span years or decades. Awards from major institutions. Recognition from every corner of their industries. Documented impact that changed their fields. And then Olandria, who'd been famous for basically 5 months with 0 previous entertainment experience before the villa. The internet immediately had thoughts, and those thoughts were loud and divided. Some people were genuinely confused about how she ended up on this list. Others were openly dismissive, calling it a joke or saying it devalued the award. But the Nicolandria Nation saw their girl's name on that list next to actual legends, and they immediately understood exactly what needed to happen. They didn't care about odds or logical expectations or what made sense on paper to outsiders. They didn't care that she was up against women with decades of achievements. They saw Olandria's name, and they decided right then that she was winning this thing no matter what it took. The voting opened to the public, and they attacked it like a coordinated military operation. Group chats were created specifically for coordinating voting times across different time zones. Reminders went out across every social media platform multiple times throughout each day. Fans were literally setting phone alarms to vote at different intervals throughout the day to maximize their individual impact and stay within voting rules.
Social media became an absolute battlefield for weeks. Butterfly emojis and purple hearts flooded every single post about the Ebony Power 100 from any account. Every article written about the nominees. Every comment section remotely related to the award. Fans made professional-looking graphics with clear voting instructions. They created step-by-step video tutorials showing exactly how to vote and how often you were allowed to do it. They spread the word far beyond just Love Island viewers, reaching out to anyone who might care about seeing a young black woman win. The coordination was genuinely insane to watch unfold. Fans in different countries were scheduling their voting to hit at peak times when servers could handle more traffic. They were sharing advanced strategies for maximizing votes without breaking rules, creating daily content encouraging others to participate and not get tired. The Nicolandria Nation turned this into a full-scale, organized campaign with leadership and structure. They weren't playing around or casually participating. Every single day until voting closed, they showed up without fail. No breaks, no days off, no losing momentum, just constant, relentless, organized support for someone they believed deserved this moment and this recognition. October 8th arrived, 11:59 p.m. Voting officially closed. Then came the absolute worst part, which was waiting with no information. Days passed with no announcement from Ebony. Social media was tense with anxiety. Fans were checking the Ebony Instagram account every hour. Everyone knew they'd put in legitimate work, but nobody knew if it would actually be enough against women with institutional support and established fan bases. This was Olandria, going up against women with literal decades of documented accomplishments. Women who'd won major, prestigious awards. Women who'd changed their entire industries. Could a reality TV contestant who most people had never heard of 6 months ago really pull this off? October 9th, 2024, the announcement dropped. Olandria Carthen had won the Ebony Power 100 People's Choice Award. She beat Audra McDonald. She beat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She beat Taylor Townsend. She beat Tracee Ellis Ross. A contestant from a dating show with literally zero previous entertainment industry experience had just defeated some of the most accomplished black women in America at something they'd spent careers building toward. The internet absolutely lost its collective mind in every direction.
Twitter timelines exploded within seconds. Nicolandria on top started trending worldwide within minutes of the announcement. Fans were crying real tears, screaming, posting videos of themselves finding out the news, their reactions completely raw and emotional and unfiltered. This wasn't just about winning an award for them. This felt like validation of something bigger. Validation that authenticity matters more than playing industry games. That genuine connection matters more than traditional credentials. That you don't need decades in entertainment to make real impact on culture if you're connecting with people on a human level. The celebration was legitimately global. Fans from different countries, posting in different languages, all united by this single moment.
The Nicolandria Nation had proven something critically important, that when a fan base actually organizes with real structure and commits long-term, they can genuinely move mountains. They can change outcomes that seemed completely impossible on paper. They can take someone from total obscurity and put them in rooms with established legends. And they did all of it in 4 months, which still doesn't make sense when you say it out loud.
But let's back up a second, because not everything was smooth during this post-Villa journey. Remember Ace Greene from earlier? After the show wrapped and everyone went home, he started making comments in various interviews implying that Nicolandria might not actually be real, that it could be manufactured for cameras and storylines, that maybe the whole thing was just clever editing and producer manipulation. Fans immediately caught the energy shift and were absolutely not having any of it. The Nicolandrians came for him with receipts from the actual show, video clips, screenshots of interactions, proof of the connection that existed before any official coupling happened. Here's what actually mattered, though, and how this played out. Olandria and Nic didn't feed into the negativity or give it oxygen. They addressed it once, with grace and maturity. Made it clear their relationship was their personal business, and they weren't performing for anyone's approval or entertainment. Then they just kept living their lives and posting their content. That's how you handle hate when you're genuinely secure. You acknowledge it exists without giving it power. You set the record straight once, and you move forward. The drama wanted to pull them in and create a whole storyline, but they refused to play that game. That maturity only made fans support them harder because it proved the authenticity they'd been defending.
The Ebony Power 100 win is way bigger than just a trophy sitting on a shelf somewhere. It's a statement about how influence gets defined in 2024 and beyond. The entertainment industry is fundamentally shifting under our feet. Traditional gatekeepers don't have the same power they used to have over who gets opportunities. Fans can build someone from the ground up now if they organize and commit. Social media changed absolutely everything about how fame works and who gets access to it. Adriana represents that shift perfectly in a way that's undeniable. Think about her background for a second. She's a first-generation college graduate from a small town in Alabama. No industry connections whatsoever. No family members in entertainment who could make calls. She worked a regular corporate job before reality TV. She wasn't trying to be an influencer or consciously build a brand. She just showed up as her authentic self on a dating show and captured something people didn't even know they were looking for. That authenticity became her actual superpower. In an industry completely full of performance and manufactured personas designed for maximum appeal, just being genuinely real stood out like a spotlight. She's also a dark-skinned black woman in entertainment spaces that don't always celebrate that fully or give it the platform it deserves. She's Southern in an industry that often stereotypes or dismisses Southern culture as less sophisticated. She's openly faithful in an entertainment world that can be actively hostile to religion and spirituality. She never apologized for any of those things, never dimmed any part of herself to fit in better or be more palatable. And that confidence in who she was became absolutely magnetic to people. Young black girls are watching her journey and seeing possibility for themselves. First-generation college students are watching and feeling inspired to dream bigger. HBCU graduates are watching and feeling proud seeing one of their own winning. The award ceremony is set for November 4th, 2024 at the Beverly Hilton. Robin Thede is hosting. Olandria will walk into that room and accept her award surrounded by actual legends who've been shaping culture for literal decades. People who've won every award their industry offers. Everyone's already wondering what she'll wear, because that's going to be analyzed by fashion critics. What she'll say in her acceptance speech, because that's going to be quoted in articles. How she'll carry herself in that space, because every movement will be observed and judged. But if we've learned anything about Olandria through this entire journey, it's that pressure doesn't break her. She's been handling real pressure her entire life, raising siblings, being first-gen in college with no roadmap, building a career from scratch. She knows how to show up when it genuinely matters. The Nicolandria Nation deserves every single flower for this achievement. This isn't typical toxic stan culture where people just attack everyone else. This is organized, intentional, powerful fandom that actually moves culture forward. They show up for literally everything, When Olandria posts content, they're in the comments within seconds. When she has voting opportunities, they mobilize faster than presidential campaigns. When she faces negativity online, they defend without even being asked to. That loyalty is genuinely rare in internet culture. What makes this specific fan base different and sustainable is they're not toxic in their support. They focus energy on uplifting Olandria rather than tearing down everyone else around her. That positive energy is unusual in stan culture, and it's a huge part of why the fan base has grown so large, so fast. People want to be part of something that feels good and positive. The Nicolandria Nation created a space where supporting someone doesn't require attacking others, where celebrating wins doesn't require manufacturing drama. That approach attracted even more people and made the whole community stronger and more resilient.
When the Ebony vote happened, that's when the entire world saw what this fan base could actually accomplish when focused. They strategized like political consultants running a campaign, created dedicated group chats for coordinating across time zones, set up automated reminder systems, made sure every single person knew exactly how to vote and when. The dedication was absolutely unreal. People were voting from work bathrooms during breaks, from school between classes, from different countries in the middle of their night. It became a legitimate global effort with one unified goal. When the win was announced, the celebration felt completely earned because they'd put in real, sustained work for weeks. Before we get to where this goes next, hit that subscribe button one more time because Olandria's story is far from over, and you want to be here for every update. Also, drop a comment about whether you think she can sustain this momentum because I'm genuinely curious what you think. Let's talk about where this trajectory goes next because that's what everyone wants to know. Olandria accomplished all of this in 5 months total. What happens in the next year when she's already at the top of every chart and metric? The foundation is incredibly strong and intentional. She's got the fan base that's proven they'll show up, the professional management team that knows how to navigate opportunities, the credibility from winning a prestigious award that opens doors, brand partnerships that align with who she actually is. All the pieces are in place for genuine long-term success if she plays it right and stays authentic.
The relationship with Nic is still developing naturally. They're taking their time figuring out what they have outside the villa pressure, going on trips together, supporting each other's individual projects and opportunities. At the reunion special, they made it clear they're committed to exploring this at their own pace. No rushing into labels for public consumption, no forcing anything because fans want content. Just two people being intentional about building something real that lasts. Career-wise, the opportunities are genuinely endless right now. There are already whispers about TV hosting gigs being discussed, major talk show appearances being scheduled, maybe even acting roles if she wants to go that direction. Fashion brands are lining up because she has that incredibly rare combination of accessibility and aspiration. People see themselves in her story, but they also see where they want to be. There's also real possibility of her using this platform for causes she cares about deeply. Education advocacy, promoting HBCUs and their importance, supporting first-generation college students, navigating systems alone, uplifting young Black women in industries that don't always make space for them.
The November 4th gala will be a genuinely major moment in her journey. That's where she accepts her award in front of industry legends who've accomplished everything. What she wears will be analyzed by every fashion critic with the platform. What she says will be quoted in articles for months. How she carries herself will be observed and judged by people looking for any reason to dismiss her. But if we've learned anything about Olandria, it's that pressure doesn't break her. She rises to moments. Let's zoom all the way out and look at the full picture one final time. In May 2024, Olandria was working her regular corporate job in Houston, living a completely normal life. The general public had absolutely no idea who she was. Fast forward to October 2024, 5 months later total. Complete anonymity to cultural phenomenon. 5 months to build a fan base that rivals celebrities with decades of work. 5 months to win an award that people dedicate entire careers trying to achieve. When you actually sit with that timeline, it doesn't make any logical sense. But it happened anyway, because sometimes the right person emerges at exactly the right moment, with exactly the right energy, and captures actual lightning in a bottle.
Reality TV contestants are supposed to get their 15 minutes of fame and fade away quietly. That's the established pattern we've seen for years across every show. But Olandria broke that pattern so completely, it's like she rewrote the whole rulebook. She didn't just avoid fading, she got significantly bigger after the show ended. Her influence grew stronger, her opportunities multiplied exponentially. She flipped the entire script on what a reality TV career trajectory is supposed to look like, and she did it without compromising a single thing about who she is. No manufactured drama, no fake persona for algorithms, just authenticity and consistency. Think one more time about who she was competing against for that Ebony Award. Audra McDonald has 6 Tony Awards and decades of performances that literally changed theater. Tracee Ellis Ross comes from entertainment royalty and has built an empire across multiple industries. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is fighting for actual policy changes that affect people's real lives. These are women with established legacies, documented impact, years of work that speaks for itself in undeniable ways. And then there's Olandria, fresh off her first reality show with no previous entertainment experience whatsoever. Yet the people chose her because they connected with her story on a human level. They saw themselves in her journey. They believed in what she represented for the future.
What Olandria is doing right now, in real time, is creating a blueprint that literally didn't exist before. She's showing future reality TV contestants that you don't have to play by the old toxic rules. You don't have to start drama for airtime. You don't have to create a villain edit to get noticed. You can just be yourself and trust that the right people will connect with that authenticity. This affects every reality show moving forward because producers are watching and taking notes. They're seeing that authentic contestants can build way bigger followings than dramatic ones, that viewers are genuinely tired of manufactured chaos and actually want real connections they can believe in. The Nicolandria Nation showed what organized fandom can accomplish when it's focused and committed. They proved that fan voting actually matters if people commit to it beyond just clicking a button once and forgetting about it. Other fan bases are actively studying what they did, trying to replicate the organization, the coordination, the sustained effort over weeks. Brand partnerships are being completely rethought because companies saw what happened when Olandria endorsed products. They realized that authentic connection with an audience is worth infinitely more than raw follower counts that don't translate to sales.
5 years from now, people will look back at October 2024 as the turning point, the moment everything changed for her trajectory. The Ebony Award will be remembered as the catalyst that launched her into a completely different stratosphere of opportunity and influence. And whatever she accomplishes between now and then will just add more chapters to a story that's already genuinely remarkable. She's building something that has real staying power, something that matters beyond just trending topics and viral moments that disappear. So, here we are, at the end of this journey through her story. From unknown contestant to People's Choice Award winner in 4 months. From small-town Alabama to worldwide trending topics. From Love Island runner-up to cultural phenomenon that changed the game. The Olandria Carthen story doesn't make sense on paper when you list it out. All the odds were stacked against her. But it happened anyway, because sometimes being genuinely real is more powerful than any strategy or industry connection money can buy. Olandria represents hope for everyone who's ever felt like they don't fit the mold, everyone who's been told they're not enough, everyone who comes from humble beginnings and wonders if they can make it in spaces that weren't built for them. She's living proof that staying true to yourself isn't just the right thing to do morally, it's also the smartest move strategically, because that's what creates genuine connection. That's what builds communities that actually support you. That's what opens doors you didn't even know existed. November 4th is going to be emotional for everyone who's been on this journey. watching Olandria accept that award at the Ebony Power 100 Gala, surrounded by legends who've shaped culture for decades. Hearing what she has to say in that moment, seeing how she shows up in a space she earned through authenticity and an incredible fan base, it's going to hit different for everyone who's been invested since day one in that villa. And after November 4th, the story continues. More opportunities opening up, more growth happening in real time, more moments that make us realize we're watching something genuinely special unfold. The era of Olandria Carthen isn't ending anytime soon. If anything, it's just beginning. The foundation has been laid with intention and care. The fan base is solid and growing. The trajectory is pointing straight up, with no signs of slowing down. From Love Island to the Power 100, from anonymity to influence, from dreaming to achieving. This is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, and faith meets action. This is what happens when a community decides to lift someone up and refuses to let them fall. This is what happens when you bet on yourself, even when the odds seem impossible. When you stay true to who you are, even when the industry tells you to change. When you build something real, instead of chasing whatever's trending.
Olandria Carthen is no longer just a reality TV contestant. She's a symbol of what's possible when you refuse to dim your light for anyone. She's proof that the game is changing and new rules are being written by people who never had access before. She's evidence that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. And most importantly, she's a reminder that being yourself is the most powerful thing you can be in a world full of performance and pretending. The internet crowned her. The fans mobilized for her. The industry is making room for her whether they plan to or not. And she's just getting started. The next chapter is going to be even more incredible than what we've already witnessed. Olandria Carthen, remember that name. Because 5 years from now, when she's accomplished even more than we can imagine, you'll want to remember you were here from the beginning, watching the impossible become possible, watching a runner-up become unstoppable, watching authenticity win in an industry that usually rewards everything else. This is the story of how one woman changed the game by refusing to play it. How a fan base showed the world what real power looks like. How 4 months turned into a movement that's still growing. The Bama Barbie from Decatur, Alabama just rewrote the rules, and reality TV will never be the same again.